Have you gotten out of shape during this pandemic and you want to get back on track when this whole thing blows over? Then you definitely want to stick around because I'm going to offer you invaluable tips to help you achieve your goal. Roll it! Yo, what's a crack, my happy face pullers, your personal trainer T-Talks, changing people's lives for the better through strength and fitness. Alright, so today's video is all about getting in shape in 2021. Warning, I'm not gonna get down the rabbit hole of nutrition because I feel this is a highly individual topic that cannot be generalized to a larger audience. But if I'm forced to give you some sort of guidance under 30 seconds, I'll tell you this. First, the proverbial getting a caloric deficit prescription. I know this is not going to tell you much, so that's why I'm going to talk about other things you can do to achieve this negative energy balance without obsessing too much about what happens in the kitchen. 2. Ask yourself whether what you're about to eat comes from the ground or has grown in a tree or has had eyes before. If you can't answer with a yes to any of these, then it's not real food. And 3, make sure that real food takes up the vast majority of what you eat in a day. Be consistent with these 3 points and you'll be golden. Having said all that, I subscribe to the idea that you could still be an unhealthy individual even if your nutrition is on point, as long as you lead a rather sedentary lifestyle. So I'm going to focus on the type of physical activities that are required for you to get and or stay in shape for the rest of your life. I bet most people are having a really hard time dealing with all the restrictions, home lockdowns, curfews, etc. Due to the Rona situation, you might find yourself working remotely from home instead of going to the office. Despite a desk job being sedentary in nature, many of you are no longer doing the whole getting ready for work. I mean, the whole dressing up, driving or commuting with public transports, walking into the office building, having meetings, going for lunch with colleagues, etc., etc. In other words, your non-exercise physical activity has dropped significantly. The simple removal of a few minutes of low-intensity cardio from your daily routine could have a massive impact on your physique and health if you already had a rather sedentary lifestyle prior to the pandemic. Which brings me to my first point. Low-intensity cardio could be a valid and useful tool to prevent things from deteriorating really fast from a health perspective. Jumping on a treadmill or going for a walk for 30 minutes twice or 3 times a week could be the difference between gaining 5 to 10 pounds of body fat in a year or gaining only 1 or 2. In other words, low-intensity cardio does have some merit, but it's not gonna significantly improve your body composition, aka getting into shape. For you to substantially improve your physique, you need to build muscle and get stronger. There is no way around it. Unless you fit in some sort of resistance training protocol into your lifestyle, you're not going to get into shape. And look, the degree to which you apply yourself in this area highly depends on your specific goals. Not everyone aspires to look like a fitness model, I get that. But the truth of the matter is that resistance training has to be the foundational pillar in the so-called Get in Shape project. Everything on top of that is a nice bonus, but at the end of the day, you need to put yourself in a situation where you have to produce force against external objects on a regular basis. There are many ways you can go about it, with your body weight or through external loads, or even a combination of the two. I'm not going to go into details about all the benefits of getting physically stronger, but if you want to learn more about this topic, I'd suggest you watch this video after finishing this one. Link down below. However, I would like to touch upon why you would want to use resistance training based off multi-joint movements and how this is the only long-term approach of you getting and staying in good physical condition for the rest of your life. Training harder over time through weightlifting or calisthenics is going to increase your metabolism. In very plain and simple terms, this means that more calories are required for you to be alive. Even without dropping your calories, you could lose body fat if the baseline of your metabolism goes up. Having more muscle mass, that's the magic trick. Please pay attention that I have purposely omitted machines as an option. If you are a novice seeking to build foundational strength, machines are not going to be the best option for you to learn basic movement patterns. This type of equipment does have a time and a place and could be great in specific circumstances, but they're going to do nothing for you to develop the motor skills needed to learn how to move your body across space or how to stabilize the displacement of an object. This video goes more into detail on this topic, explaining when beginners should use machines and why. Another aspect that is oftentimes neglected or simply not talked about enough is the compound effect of getting physically stronger. As you gain strength, you're able to do more reps and more sets in a given workout, you can train more frequently, and you can do it at higher intensities. All these things combined will take your metabolic rates to an even higher baseline. And the last property worth mentioning about developing bigger muscle fibers is that you'll improve your insulin sensitivity. The more muscular you are, the more glucose gets absorbed by your muscles to use it as energy later on. This means that less glucose gets stored in your cells as fat, which is exactly what you would like to avoid and what it would happen if you didn't have as much muscle mass. By the way, are you liking the video so far? If so, smash the like button so that we can invoke the YouTube gods once and for all. The YouTube algorithm! Alright, we've established that resistance training based on progressively harder multi-joint movements must be the foundational base of you getting into shape. You could be doing everything else right, but if you're missing this piece, your physique will be standing on very shaky and weak grounds. And it will collapse at the first sign of trouble, just like it happened to many people during the quarantine. I got fat because of the quarantine, you know? No, you were getting weaker and fatter already, but at a rate that was imperceptible to you. But the new situation has made that trend visually noticeable because you are not using your body as much now. Okay, once you are in the process of establishing this non-negotiable foundation, I can give you a couple of practical tips that you can implement into your daily routine to make getting or staying in shape easy on you. You don't have to use them all at once overnight if you're not currently doing any of these. Pick one or two and solidify them into a new habit, to the point where these come as natural as other day-to-day mundane activities such as brushing your teeth, eating dinner, or taking a shower. The first thing you can do is to complete short but pacey walks at some point during the day. This would be highly dependent on your personal circumstances and work schedule. But for me personally, I get the most out of these either first thing in the morning right after waking up or late in the evening right before dinner. Short duration walks are a fantastic tool to increase your daily step count, especially if you live in a country where driving is pervasive. The second thing is to take the stairs instead of using the elevator. For those of you who live in multi-story buildings, this is a free and effective way to squeeze in some light cardio. If you happen to live in a single-family house, you can still use the staircase of the building you work at. If your office is on the 19th floor, then take the elevator and get off on the 15th floor. Then take the stairs. The reason why 99% of people don't do this is because it requires a small and inconvenient effort. And more importantly, there is an easier alternative right next to it. However, some of you will realize at some point in your life that a certain level of discomfort on a regular basis is actually good for you. Nothing worth having is easy. It's not supposed to be easy. If you manage to flip your perception on this one, you will no longer see stairs as an obstacle or inconvenience to avoid, but rather as a useful tool for you to achieve your goals. The third tip I can give you relates to those of you who have to commute on a regular basis. If you drive a car, park somewhat close to the office but not right in front of your working place. Give yourself an opportunity to walk a little. Even if you only park 2 to 3 blocks away, that'd be the equivalent of adding 10 minutes of low-intensity cardio to your day. 5 minutes on your way to the office and another 5 minutes to go back to your car. For those of you who take public transport, get off the bus or train one stop before the one you actually have to take so that you can squeeze in those extra steps. Tip number 4 has to do with maximizing your time in the gym. You finally started a resistance training program and you are in the gym learning the basics. That's great. As you get stronger, you'll be able to complete sets at increasingly higher intensities. However, this also means that there has to be a considerable downtime from set to set. Now, instead of sitting around staring at your phone, go ahead and walk across the gym during your rest time. Make the most out of it. Another tip worth considering is to complete mini sets of bodyweight exercises spread throughout the day. The two most convenient movements you can do anywhere are squats and push-ups. Let's run through a couple of real-world examples. You stop by a gas station to fill up the tank. Great. Do a set of squats before you hop back into your car. You leave the apartment to walk out your dog around the corner. Alright, it's time to squat more. You're waiting for the microwave to heat up your dinner. Well, this is a perfect time for you to stimulate your legs again. What about implementing a Netflix tax whereby you are not allowed to watch the next episode until you complete a set of squats? And the exact same could be said about push-ups. If you were to look back at how many reps you've done throughout the day, you'd be surprised by the total number. And hey, if you don't manage to hit the gym on that day, well, you have already done something physical without too much of an effort. Alright, pips of the interweb, I really hope you found value in today's video. If you learned something new and you want to show me some appreciation, which is very welcome by the way, go ahead and smash the like button, consider subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell to get notified so that you don't miss any future uploads.